Hello there, everybody. This is Fear My Games here with a video that is not Total War, actually. This is me playing Guild Wars 1. It's a game that came out in 2005, and I first started playing it when I was about 9.5 years old, so about 13 years ago, almost to the day. It's a give or take like a few weeks. I think I started playing about this time. And the reason why I decided to make this video series is that I love this game. This game and the sequel game really is what made me who I am today. This interactions I had with people, my connection to the game, really made me who I am today. And so I wanted to do a full completionist playthrough of this game, record it for posterity, so that way I can have access to it even when Guild Wars 1 dies out. If you guys can enjoy the fun, I hope if you guys enjoy the fun of me playing it, great. If you don't, then at least, I guess, someone's getting use out of this being me. But hopefully you guys can also get some fun out of this too. But I have almost 2,000 hours in this game, over 6,000 hours in the sequel game. So I have a lot of time spent in this series, and I honestly last night I just got this idea to just start doing it. I do apologize. This is actually the third time I had to do this B opening again. The reason why is that my OBS was acting really weird and was not picking up my mic, nor was it picking up my game sound. So I really had to. So I'm doing this again. So sorry if I'm not as high energy as my previous attempts at recording it was. Alright, so the first campaign that they ever came out with was Prophecies, and that's the first campaign I did. So that's what we're going to be doing here in this series. We'll eventually do Factions and Nightfall afterwards. Factions is the second, Nightfall being the third, and then at the end we'll also do Eye of the North, which is what came out last. But it is the only campaign that does not start off with you. That does not have a starting zone. Basically, you can make a level 1 character and play through Prophecies, Factions, Nightfall, but you cannot do that with Eye of the North. You unlock that at level 10, and then you can go there. Sorry, Chinos. Factions is the shortest campaign, but I actually really enjoy it. The reason why is the shortest campaign is because it just made Guild Wars 1's PvP so much better. Added factions, all that jazz was amazing. Nightfall added some things. It was a pretty okay expansion. I enjoyed the story, but I hear from a lot of people who played it when it first came out. They're kind of mixed about it. Let's play Prophecies. So this is the default 6 classes in Guild Wars 1. The Warrior, Ranger, Monk, Necromancer, Mesmer, and Elementalist. Each game afterwards, besides Eye of the North, gives extra classes. Factions unlocks Assassin Ritualist. Nightfall unlocks Paragon Dervish, and they added to it. Prophecies doesn't get those, but hey, we're gonna start with this one anyways. So let's go over the classes real quick. That is the options for me to start with. So we have Warrior. This one I really enjoyed the Guild Wars 2 Warrior, but I actually never really got into the Guild Wars 1 Warrior. I just never found a playstyle that exactly fit me comfortably, and it was just kind of okay. But I have friends who really love Warrior all the way from Guild Wars 1. And my second character, I think, was a Warrior. The first character I ever made was a Ranger. Rangers, they're the pew-pew bow people, but there's also a lot of fun builds with Rangers where you just, basically you play, I call it Rangers take on Assassin or Rangers take on Dervish. Basically, you play as a Ranger, you use the Assassin's weapon of daggers or the Dervish's weapon of scythe. And you just basically play like almost a budget version of them, but I call it the Ranger's take on it. And that's what I'm currently doing on my main character of Ranger. For a little while I played just bows, big AoE damage with the bow. But then I got kind of bored with that playstyle pretty quickly. And then I played Ranger's take on Assassin. I found that one to be pretty interesting, and now I'm playing Ranger's take on Dervish, and I'm actually really enjoying that one more than I did the other two. So that makes sense because my favorite class is basically Dervish, followed by and then followed by Ranger. It was really I attached to this one when I was a kid because I'm like, oh my god, I could have pets. Yes, because I really love animals. I still do. Monk. This is the heal class of the game, but they can also still do a respectable amount of damage if they build into it. But they're one of the classes that's like a dedicated healer class that Guild Wars 2 doesn't really have. A very fun class, but I already have a monk, so we're not going to be playing that in this series. We have a necromancer. Pretty self-explanatory. You cast hexes on people, you use a lot of blood magic, you curse people, you raise the dead. Pretty usual one. Necromancer is the only class I flat out hate. I've made necromancers multiple times throughout my playthrough, and I've deleted every single one. For some reason, I just can't get behind their playstyle. I do not know why. Even though I've tried so hard to try. Even in Guild Wars 2, I only reluctantly play Necromancer. And I kind of have a little bit of Stockholm Syndrome, essentially, related to Necromancer in Guild Wars 2, I think. And then Elementalist. We're skipping over the Mesmer, because we'll talk about them in just a moment. An Elementalist is Earth, Air, Fire, Water. If you ever wanted to be the Avatar, you are the Elementalist. They do a lot of good damage. They can build more damage. They can be a little more tanky. And also, depending on what secondary class you pick, which I'll explain in a future episode, you can also heal pretty effectively, too, with their energy management skills. Very fun class, but not one... I don't mind it, but it's never been one that immediately called to me, if that makes any sense. And this is Mesmer, the master of illusion, misdirection, and control. The Mesmer subverts the damage-dealing capabilities of others, manipulating their perceptions to achieve personal goals. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention, I'm going to go back for a second. One thing I did forget to mention is that this series that I mentioned in my previous takes is because of how much nostalgia I feel for this game and how much I just have such fond memories of it. This series is partially a playthrough, but also a large part of it is just going to be a lot of nostalgia and a little bit of reminiscing about the game. Hopefully that's okay with you guys, but I'm going to do it no matter what. So hopefully you guys enjoy the ride. You get a little bit more of an opinion of me. Learn a little bit more about me, so hopefully you guys enjoy the ride. Too. Also, another thing, sorry, is that for the reason I'm picking Mesmer is twofold. One, the character I deleted to get up a new character slot for the series is a Mesmer. It was my very first Mesmer. I didn't get to level 20 or max it out because I was playing other classes for a long time. And then I kind of stopped playing Guild Wars 1 for a while and never finished with that character. There's a lot of characters like that actually for me. But Mesmer, I also really enjoyed the playstyle when I first played it. At first, it really rewards you for knowing what's going on. If you pay attention to the enemy, you see them casting an important skill, you're like, oh no, you don't interrupt it. Or, that's a caster character, you cast a hex on them that makes it so they take damage when they cast spells. Or if they're just going to keep wailing on your allies, you cast a spell that makes them take damage whenever they just wail on your allies. It's such a class that rewards you paying attention. You could still do a little bit of spamming skills and still do just fine, but I just loved how I felt rewarded just for paying extra attention to the game. Which is one reason I want to play Mesmer, because that's super cool. I really enjoyed that play style, and I don't have another Mesmer after the one I deleted. So, when I first started playing Guild Wars 1, when I was 9 years old, I'm like, okay, I'm a boy, of course I'm going to play a boy. And then when I got a little bit later, I was like, all these female characters that my friends are playing, they seem to have really cool dances. So that's why I started playing female character. Not because I wanted to look at a female character when I played, which I know some friends who have mentioned that. But for me, it was mostly because I was like, I love those dances. Because whenever it's in PvP queues, we'd usually have dances and stuff like that in the lobby while we talked, and I really just enjoyed the female dances. Mesmer is one of the ones where I kind of like both the male and the female dances, so it's a bit of a different thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a character that looks a little bit like me. I think that hairstyle fits a little bit my hairstyle. Sorry if it's super bright behind me. It's just daylight right now outside. I'll keep an eye on it. If it gets too bad, I'll fix it. I think it's part of the backlight gain here. We'll go for the medium brown hair, because that's I think about what my hair color is. That one looks Maybe even that one might be a bit better too. Let's go with this one. And let's go for this one. This is probably the closest to my face share that I got right now because it's not quite full. It's a little bit patchy, which fits mine perfectly. Though honestly, if I was going for just pure looks, I like this one the most. But this one's the most accurate. And we'll kind of go with this color because none of them are perfect. And then we're going to go for the highest body scaling because I'm pretty tall personally. And I like my characters being pretty tall. And we're going to go with my YouTube name. The funny thing is the name Fear My comes from Guild Wars 1. What happened was, I was like trying to struggle with a character I was coming up with. It was a dervish. I was like, oh, it's Fear My, and it's like, okay, well, how about we do this, Fear My Scythe? But wait, it's a girl. And by the way, I was like 10, 11 right at this point. So that has to be Fear My Girl Scythe. And then, I had one extra character, but I used up the maximum character slot space for it. So I basically I deleted the space between Fear and My, and became Fear My. I kept that moniker for every other character afterwards because that dervish became my main character for a while. And basically, when I went to Guild Wars 2, I kept the name so anybody from Guild Wars 1 who knew me would be able to identify me. And I kept that going, forevermore. You see right here, my YouTube channel. And we're gonna name that same thing. There's gonna be a cutscene, so I'm gonna zip it real quick. Oop.
The last day dawns on the kingdom of Ascalon. It arrives with no fanfare, no tolling of alarms. Those who will remember will speak fondly of the warm morning breeze. People carry on with their daily lives, unaware that in a short while, everything they have ever known will come to an end.
Scribe? Yes, my lord. His charm relentless, but we shall hold the wall at all costs. Yes, my lord. Take this message to Sir Titus. Go forth and recruit the strongest, the smartest. Bring to me the bravest in all of Ascalon. Find me the heroes who will lead our kingdom to glory. As you command, my king.
I think that's supposed to be us. But he asked for the smartest. I think he completely failed if he finds me and says that's who it's supposed to be. And there we are, standing there menacingly. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just turn off so that way it always hides my face mask. I'm always going to keep the cape on. This is what we look like. What's kind of interesting is that let's see. Yeah. Is that we start with no skills here. Unlike in Guild Wars 2, you don't have weapon skills and class skills. Instead, you have just class skills. I like good news. So basically it says, "Excuse me, you're from our games, aren't you? I think Sir Titus was looking for you. He said he had some good news for you. Well, let's go talk to him." Let's see. There you are, my friend. I'm glad you are here. I have news that I think you'll appreciate. Except, I've been looking for you everywhere, Fear My Games. The king has ordered a new offensive against the Char. This is your chance for glory and adventure. But you'll need to know more about your craft before going north of the wall. Tell you what, travel to the southwest gate, which will take you to Lakeside County, and I'll have Sebedol the Mesmer waiting for you outside. She could show you a trick or two. Thank you, Sir Titus. I'm on my way. I'll be probably reading the text and stuff like that for this one, because there's not a whole lot of voice acting for the text. Though admittedly, the voice acting in this game is not exactly the best either, but the one thing I am going to do is I'm gonna probably do a lot of the side quests in Guild Wars 1. In this, basically, this is gonna be a complete. Oh, did I mention it? In this version, I don't think I mentioned this version of the recording. But I plan to do a completionist run. I want to do all the side quests I encounter. I want to do all the main quests I encounter. So what that's gonna basically mean is that Oh, I forgot to read that. But basically, even if I don't record all of it, I'm going to be doing all the side quests. The reason why is I want to experience everything that Guild Wars 1 has to offer, anything that I may have missed over my years of playing this game. I just want to tackle it. I've been doing a little bit of that one on my main character, tackling all the old quests I just breezed past as when I first played her. And basically I'm doing that, and I also started doing that one when my guild and I, like last year, started playing Guild Wars 1 at Nightfall. We did Nightfall campaign, and we were doing every side quest, everything we can to just experience as much of the game as we can. And it was really fun. Unfortunately, due to scheduling differences between everybody, we ended up stopping, and hopefully we can continue sometime, because I'd love to be able to do that. So this one says, Prince Rurik. Well met, young Mesmer. It's a glorious day to be alive, is it not? I know some might think of these dark times with the Char threatening us from the north, but Ascalon is the greatest nation in fair Tyria. We shall never fall before the Char. Never! So one thing I'm going to do is, I got the bonus in this game, so if I type /bonus, I get a bunch of free items. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use them. Not all these are actually none of these are particularly amazing. Some of these are better than others. Like this one is actually pretty nice, so I'm going to use this one probably until I get my highest level item. I'm going to destroy the starter cane. I won't be able to use it to its maximum efficiency because I do not have the required 9 domination magic, which is one of my attributes here. But it'll be better than nothing. I believe it's a staff or is it a wand? I forget. It's a scepter, so I should be able to have like a secondary thing. I don't have anything that I can really put there just due to the nature of my character. So I'm not going to really bother too much, but I think I think I still get the bonus of the shield if I equip it, so I'm probably going to use the shield. Because, actually, this gives me energy too, doesn't it? No, not full energy, though. Yeah, I'm probably going to use the shield, I guess, for a little bit extra health. For now, at least. The energy is also pretty important. We'll figure out what weapon I end up using for the most part. Because I probably will not be making much use of them, though. But it's better than nothing. And I can always do the slash bonus again later for any of the weapons I want. So over here you can see the Char. Just duking it out. The eternal battle outside the walls. Definitely not the best sight, if you know what I mean. Yeah, just doing a little bit of exploration here. I want to try and gather all the side quests as I said I can, but first thing we're going to do is... Oh, I forgot to read the quest here. Because I skipped it before. A group of bandits has been terrorizing Lakeside recently. They have grown so bold that they ambushed a royal tax collector and stole a chest full of gold. That gold is vital to our war effort against the Char and must be recovered. You look like you could give those bandits a good thrashing. Will you recover the stolen chest and then return to Devona in Ashford for me? Yes, you get to enjoy my beautiful voice acting. Deal with it. Though if people really hate it, then I'll just not do it anymore. But I won't be doing like a full-on, oh my, like I do in my D&D campaigns. Alas, I am behind on my rent, and my landlord, Gelson, has run out of patience with me. I fear I will be put out of my home. I'll understand if you'd rather not help at Crichton. Our nations were at war a long time. But I'm not your enemy, and I could really use some assistance. My friend, Miller Upton, lives to the southwest. I know he'll help me if I can get a message to him. If you're going that way, could you tell him of my plight? Sure, I definitely want that money and that thing. One thing I'll say is, one thing I loved about this game, I got really into it, and I was really into the lore for Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2 up until about Path of Fire coming out, and then I kind of lost a lot of interest in the lore. But I love these little details in Guild Wars 1 so much that I'm I actually have started making a D&D, like basically Guild Wars 2, Guild Wars 1, and taking into D&D, just so that way my friends can play it through kind of a different medium. So honestly, I was so interested in all the things that in here. Which is actually another reason I want to play is because I'm starting to forget a lot of things in Guild Wars 1. So I want to replay it and refresh my memory again. Alright. So Sebedo the Mesmer. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I was asked to meet you out here and share a few secrets about being a mesmer. It is not an easy profession to grasp. The mesmer is not a mage in the traditional sense. His strength lies not in the manipulation of the physical, but rather through influencing the minds of others. Though not overflowing with raw power, he is feared by spellcasters for his ability to disrupt their attacks, and by fighters for his many illusionary attacks that bypass physical defenses. Almost everything you do as a mesmer is indirect, but that does not mean it is inconsequential. Fear not. If you do not yet understand, you will. I accept this quest. Before I teach you any skills, I want you to know that you're up to the task. Heavy to the river road and clear out the irksome scale horde that's hanging about. Report back when you're finished. I'll be waiting. Yeah, for this one, basically, what's kind of interesting about Guild Wars 1 is that you can actually use any weapon you want. You can use any weapon that you want. But you won't necessarily be effective at them, and you can use their auto attacks. But for example, I wouldn't be able to use, if I was wielding a sword, I would not be, or this hammer I just picked up, I can wield it and I can auto attack with it, but I would not be able to cast any hammer skills, which would go my 1 through 8, unless I became a warrior and upgraded hammer mastery. Or not even upgraded hammer mastery. Well, I could just have to be a warrior with the hammer skills, technically. You killed all of the scale. No, some of them kind of ran away, actually. I kind of let them go. I didn't expect you back so quickly. Here, take these skills and see if you can't learn to fight with a little bit more panache. If you need more direction, Haversden should be able to help you out. I've got more important matters to attend to. What a person. Let's see, I want to go this way, because I know there's actually, the way you can unlock skills through either buying it from a skill vendor, or you can unlock it for free by doing quests. So which is one reason I want to do, which is what I'm going to do now. There is actually one of the Mesmer trainers is over here. Lady Athalia. In Guild Wars 2, you actually, one of the skills you get is her, one of the items you can have is her ashes. Bit depressing, but you know. Hail and hello. How can this humble Mesmer help you? I'm not sure if you heard that, but that was my man going, eh. A Mesmer's burden. At the watering hole southwest of here, you'll find a rogue bull. Terrible creature, a menace to everyone coming to visit our humble theater. Here are some Mesmer spells to assist you. If you dispatch this creature for me, I'd be most grateful. I'd be happy to help. So, empathy here is our number 1 skill. This one is for 5 seconds. Whenever a target foe attacks, that foe takes 10 damage and deals 1 less damage. An ether feast. Target foe loses 3 energy. You are healed for... Oh, I'm being attacked. I may die here because I was not expecting that. The ether feast. Target foe loses 3 energy and you are healed for 20... for each point of... healed for 20 hit points for each point of energy lost. So basically, this is my self-heal skill, essentially. The 3 skill here that I'm spamming is actually a really nice skill. Right now, because I only have level 1 illusion magic, it lasts for 2 seconds, but for each second, the target foe, well, I should say for the whole 2 seconds, target foe experiences -5 health degeneration. Do you see these arrows kind of right here? Especially on my energy, which is like going up like 4 points. That is energy regeneration. If I had, for example, energy degeneration, for example, let's say it was only 2. I would then go from 4 arrows to 2 arrows. And that kind of thing. It's the same thing with health. If there's more degeneration than I have regeneration, then I will, start going down in health. So this is the rogue bull that they want me to fight. It's level 5, I'm level 1, but I have a little imp here for my bonus, so we should be able to take it on, no problem. So we want to cast Imagine Burn because it makes target foe move a lot slower, which should hopefully make it so we're less likely to die. Maybe the imp can tank for me. Good job, imp, tanking that for me. I very much appreciate it. That probably wouldn't have been a big threat anyways, but, You can never be certain. Now, one of the things that's always nice whenever you do side quests is... Oh, this can give me more energy. I want that instead. Okay. I don't really care about having a lot of health. Is that, basically, if I chose to buy these skills instead of doing these quests, it costs me gold. And each skill you buy increases the amount of gold cost up to 1 platinum, which is 1,000 gold in this game. And right now I have 10 gold. It's kind of interesting how in Guild Wars 2, they kind of abandoned the whole idea of platinum entirely. So, I'm not going to be doing a crazy amount of exploration in Guild War in this little pre-searing area. But I do want to kind of visit some towns, see if there's any quests I can do. I know there's like Gatecard Torim as a quest. Some of these ones do require 2 people. So what I might just do is like off video, I might do some of these quests before I move on. For example, I have a personal favor to ask of you. A good friend of mine has gone missing north of the wall. He's a ranger by the name of Ben Wolfson. He was on a scouting mission and was separated from his outfit when they came under attack from a Char patrol near Pike Square. Ben's a survivor. I feel certain he's alive. And I'd go after him if I could. But I have orders to remain here. I cannot even leave my post long enough to open the gate for you. To open it and pass through, you need a companion to pull the lever above the gate while you go through. I know it's a lot to ask, but if you could go north and look for him, I'd be in your debt. I'll tell him if I can. So basically, I need another person in my party to do this quest, and the most amount of people you get in your party is 2 in pre-sharing. The way it kind of goes is that as you go up in levels, I meant to use the 3 skill instead of that one. But basically what ends up... Oh, I need to heal myself. Don't let me... Oh, I almost died. Because I was too slow to heal myself there. Maybe having that health was useful. In Guild Wars 1, this whole open world thing here, this is my own personal instance. No other players are in this instance besides me. No players besides me are in this instance, unless I brought them in with my party. So Guild Wars 1 is almost like a single player game in that respect. Very instanced. Guild Wars 2 is instanced as well, but the difference between that and this one is that people not in your party are also on the same map as you, while in this one, there could be a bajillion other people on this map, but each of us have our own instance that we have. And enemies do not respawn here, so for example, if I wanted to farm these Grawl for whatever reason, the only way that I would be able to get my, they'd respawn is, brain. Is basically if I went back into a town and refreshed the instance. This mechanic actually kind of inspired like a thing that came up with later, which is with hard mode. Is whenever you beat a campaign, you unlock hard mode, which basically makes every enemy basically like higher than level 20, even the beginner zones, for anyone in your party. And basically that's hard mode, makes things harder. But if you actually completely clear out an entire instance in Guild Wars 1 in hard mode, it's called vanquishing, and you basically get, if you vanquish every map, you get a title, as well as which you can use towards your Hall of Monuments, which gives you more words in Guild Wars 2. I haven't actually done all of the Hall of Monuments, so if I want to talk to this guy, he gives me a quest for Grawl invasion. I should warn you that there's trouble on the road. A group of Grawl invaders have camped out not far from here and have been harassing travelers. If you'd like, I could teach you a thing or two to help drive them off. And I'll even lend you a sword if you need one. I don't really need a... So this guy actually... Don't tell me you'd... So this guy is one of the warrior trainers. I actually do not know if his thing passively would give me... I hope accepting would make me a warrior, because I don't have that quest yet. But even though I'm not planning to be on this quest, I know some people who, when they make a new character, when they've made a new character in Guild Wars 1, they would do every single side quest or do the classes before they even accepted their final one. Because what ends up happening is that you are not locked. Is that if you're not locked into your secondary profession forever, eventually you can change your secondary profession to a different one. It costs you like a platinum to do it every time you do it, but there we go, got that done. Now I'm level up. Now I can level up my stuff. Each of these attributes have their own thing. I'll worry about them later. I'll level up just fast casting illusion for now. But and you can do a lot of different builds. I believe I'm probably going to go Mesmer Monk, but so that way I can get a reliable revive skill, because with henchmen at low levels there's only one henchman with a heal skill. So if they die, no one can res them if you don't have a res skill. So I'm probably going to go Mesmer Monk. That way I can have a revive skill that I can use to resurrect them. There are things like Resurrection Signet that if you unlock them will heal them. But you can only heal them once per instance unless you get a morale boost from killing a boss. And I'd rather not rely on that one as a just in case kind of a thing. If I unlock heroes and I get higher level, it's not as big of an issue, but at this lower level, it's a really big problem. And can still be a problem even at later levels. So right now we're just doing this quest to kill some Grawl invaders for some money and loot. I wanted to get to the Green Hills country before we end this episode and sit down in a town, because I know there's more quests I could potentially have over there. But it might be might take a little bit longer than I was expecting. We'll see. Let's put a point to domination magic to make empathy better. We're probably going to go for a domination measure, which basically means we're going to be using mostly domination magic spells. But I'm going to go into a bit of both, at least for now. I know there's a settlement over here in a different instance that we can probably get to if we just kind of rush there. Oh, I can get my quest accepted here. After I kill this guy, I'll go back for it. There we go, it's dead. But if I want to, I could actually make use of this these sword skills and then go like equip the starter sword, and I can still cast spells. But the problem is that I don't have as much energy with a sword as I do my scepter, so it's kind of the trade-off. But I can actually use my starter sword and my sword skills to slice at my enemies as well. It makes me more of a melee person, but it's pretty interesting in its own respect. So like they're just different playstyles I can do. But yeah, I'm going to be coming back here later on because that guy is one of the monk skill people who gives monk skills. So I'll be coming back for his skills later, which is one reason I also want to get the next town over, because I'm not sure which one's closer. I need more time to decide. I do not want to become a warrior yet. I might actually end up making him Mesmer warrior in the end. We'll kind of see. But at the very least, I got the money. I got my reward for doing that, and I have some skills. Even though if I choose not to become a warrior now, I still have these skills saved for the future. If I ever become a Mesmer warrior. I think I've seen a couple of Mesmer warriors, but I don't really know what that would provide you as a benefit. So it'd be kind of cool to maybe I'll come up with the build where basically I use like mixture of like sword and spells. That seems kind of cool actually. In terms of like an idea. That's one reason I love Guild Wars 1. There's a lot of customization you can do. While a lot of builds aren't necessarily meta in Guild Wars 1, you can make so many different kinds of builds work. There's so many options for customization. I just love it. Though from my understanding, it also made balancing a bit of a hell for them. So I can understand why they restricted it a bit in Guild Wars 2. So that way they would have less of a headache. I see here I can attack and cast spells, being a little bit of melee. And they have their own little auto attack animation that's pretty fun. Let's see. I'm gonna go this way. Oh, there's a boss. This actually is a boss, I think. No. Unfortunately, the two sword skills I got right now, neither of them will work because they all inflict bleeding or a deep wound. Unfortunately, because of the fact that these elementals do not have any flesh or blood, bleeding and deep wound do nothing to them. So, yeah. No real point to using them on these guys, but my spells do work on them. And each weapon has their own little damage types, and some things are more vulnerable than others to certain damage types. My imp is very violent. I did not remember the imp being this violent, but apparently it's extremely violent. But if I equip this scepter, and you can kind of see the damage difference. It does a little bit more damage, and it's also range, so... a bit better against these elementals. And one thing you can do is you can set multiple weapon sets, and you can swap between them. Whenever you don't have them, they're still in your inventory. However, so you do have to keep that in mind. But so it's like you could swap between them. Like I know, like a lot of people have a longbow in their inventory. They have a longbow in their inventory and will like use that longbow to pull adds. That way they won't aggro like a group that's too big for them, and then swap to their main weapon when they're actually fighting. Which will probably be something I do. You might see me do later on. My imp leveled up. I don't know. My inventory is full. Feels bad. I want money. I know that I'm going slightly off of the direction I was originally planning to go, but I'm just checking to see if there's any quests here. One thing I love about Guild Wars 1 compared to Guild Wars 2... Oh, there's the town right there. One thing I love about Guild Wars 1 over Guild Wars 2 is that I feel like the world scale is so much better in Guild Wars 1. It feels like, you know... Guild Wars 2, the world just feels so small. It became even smaller with mounds. But in Guild Wars 1, the world feels so big. Like all the buildings are bigger than you. There's like, you know, while Guild Wars 2, everything just seems so small. It's little things that I appreciate in Guild Wars 1 more than Guild Wars 2. I heard when Potatoes talk about it when he played through like a couple years ago, like on a stream. When Potatoes, he's a YouTuber who used to do, I'm not sure if he still does anymore, a lot of the lore in Guild Wars. A lot of videos about the Guild Wars lore that I really did enjoy a while back. Those videos like I stopped watching because his videos, he just kept repeating himself so much I got tired of it. But he's really good in that respect. So I'm gonna just sell all this junk here. I didn't actually want to sell that. Oh. You see these things are blue, they're unidentified. If I identify them, they actually will have better bonus effects. So if I buy this identification kit, which I can't actually afford, I'd be able to identify them and kind of get an idea what they are. For now, I just salvage everything here, but I'm just going to sell these. I'm going to keep the Enchanted Lodestone and the Grawl Necklace, because I believe I can get items out of them. So I'm going to just destroy this. So I think that's going to be it for this part, everybody. We're going to be coming back. We'll be doing this every Friday. I'll be releasing a new video of playing through Guild Wars 1. This part was just an introduction. We're doing a little bit of exploration, seeing if there's any side quests for us that we can do, and not really rushing to finish off the main story yet, because once you pass the main story, we will not be able to come back to this section. It's called Pre-Searing. It's kind of a tutorial zone in Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 1, sorry. And once we complete it, we will no longer be able to come back. So that's kind of why I want to do a lot more exploring in the area before I give up. I'm probably going to leave this section. I'm going to go back to Ascalon City, and then we're going to continue from there. But hopefully you have a good day, night, evening, wherever you guys may be. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more Guild Wars 1 content or some of my Total War content. I now have videos going from Monday through Friday. I'm having a lot of fun doing it, though sometimes I can be a little frustrated whenever there's technical difficulties or sometimes I just make mistakes, but that always happens. You know, nothing you can really do about it. You know, just I'm only human. And sayonara.